Hey guys, it's me, Mario. Let me just get this back a bit. There we go. Today, we're going to continue Blaze, the Ice Dragon. Chapter 6, A Night Attack. How you guys doing today? Hope you're doing well. Let's get this reading started. Cheers, everybody. Chapter 6, A Night Attack. Tom knew he couldn't face all the hyenas at once, and he sprinted back towards Storm. He no longer had the ability from the golden armor to jump great distances, so he threw himself onto Storm's saddle. The hyenas surrounded him. "Go!" he yelled, kicking his stallion's sides. Storm charged straight through the hyenas, causing them to scatter. One yelped as it was trampled beneath the stallion's hooves. The other hyenas regrouped and howled into the night, flashing their long yellow fangs. Add. A plan formed in Tom's head, but he'd have to make the hyenas follow him for it to work. Storm reared on his hind legs in alarm as the scavenging animals came closer, but Tom calmed him down. It's all right, boy," he said. "We're going to get out of this." The hyenas paced back and forth, arching their spines, the hair on their necks standing straight up. Again, Tom rode Storm directly at the mangy creatures. One to leap up, but he swiped at it with the slap of his sword. The others dodged aside, their thin black lips curled into snarls. Tom galloped back along the road, past Rockwind, and through the forest. Behind him, he could hear the yapping of the hyenas as they pursued him. Here's Tom fighting off the hyenas while he's riding on Storm, the graceful black stallion. They were close. Storm charged between the trees fearlessly, and the branches whipping at Tom's face. A bank of solid trunks blocked the path, and Tom charged directly and changed directions. Two hyenas moved quickly through the undergrowth and threw themselves at Storm's flank. Tom let go of the reins to beat one away from with his shield. That sentence was not that good written. Not goodly read. Let me try that sentence again. Tom let go of the reins to beat one away from his shield, stabbing at the other. Storm burst through the far side of the forest. They were out in the fields again, heading back towards the Forbidden Land. Storm was soaked with sweat, and his mane streamed in the darkness. But he galloped on. Then it seemed they were pulling away from the hyenas. Tom slowed the storm down to keep their pursuers in the chase. He couldn't afford to lose them now, not when his plan was nearly complete. They passed the frozen pond where he and Elena had re-entered Aventia, and then plunged back into the dark wood. It had been the location of the previous quest against Luna the Moonwolf. Tom steered the storm along the complicated paths that led between the trees. It was as if they'd been edged into his brain. The yellow jewel he won defeating Narga, the sea monster, had given him a perfect memory. As they threaded between the bear's silvered trunks, the padding of the hyenas' paws behind them grew softer. Tom risked a look back, and saw only 4 of 5 of the creatures slinking through the shadows. They looked uncertain. His plan had worked. The hyenas were disorientated and in unfamiliar territory, and several of them were already lost in the forest. Tom's legs arched with gripping Storm's flanks, but he did not slacken his hold. He crisscrossed the woods until the last of the hyenas fell to the ground, its tongue lolling from its exhausted mouth. Then Tom galloped away, leaving it deep in the maze of the dark woods. With any luck, none of the hyenas would return to spread disease ever again. It was the middle of the night when Tom and Storm trotted back down the forest path towards Rockwind. Gray smoke curled into the sky from the small campfires that lit the outskirts of the village. The unfenced villagers he'd seen in the forest were huddled at the firesides, boiling a foul-smelling broth in iron pots. Tom found Elena beside one. Silver lay patiently at her feet. "You're back," she said. Tom slipped from the Storm's back. "The hyenas will no longer be a problem. We've been busy here as well. We found the willow bark," Elena said, and they walked to where 2 thin and bedraggled women were sleeping soundly. Another was sitting up, sipping from a wooden cup. These 3 women were sick only a few hours ago. Tom smiled through his worriness. Your friend is very skilled," said a voice he recognized. Tom saw Durlot coming towards them. "We've enough medicine to heal everyone. Soon the whole of Rockwind will be cured." Tom was happy to hear that. But he couldn't allow himself to relax. One obstacle was overcome, but Marvel's beast still awaits them. "We should go," he said. No, exclaimed Dorlot. We must give you a feast. You have both saved our lives. I'm afraid we have another problem to deal with, said Tom, and it cannot wait. It's the dragon, isn't it? Dorlot whispered. Tom nodded. Unable to lie, he climbed onto Storm and helped Elena up behind him. Goodbye, Dorlot, he said. Farewell, young heroes, the old man replied. The villagers cheered and waved them off, shouting their thanks. Storm galloped along the rocky path towards Stonewind, Silver at his side, and soon the crackle of the villagers' fires and the smell of wood smoke were far behind him. When he saw the volcano rise up ahead in the distance, Tom felt as though he was returning home. He smiled to himself as he remembered the last time he had visited this place. On his quest to free Epos, the flame bird, back then. The sight of the gigantic flame bird with her blazing feathers had filled him with dread. But once rescued from Malvel's spell, Epos had become one of his most loyal friends. Tom frowned when he didn't see the majestic flame bird in the sky. The volcano had lost its bitter smell of sulfur, and the air wasn't as warm as it should be. It was as if the great volcano had become dormant and sapped of life. Using his magical sight, Tom scored the slopes for Malvel's fifth ghost beast. Nothing stirred in the darkness. We should stop for the night, he said. We can look for Blaze when the sun rises. Elena seemed happy to rest, and lie with Silver in the shelter of a large boulder. Storm lounged by the side of the path, and Tom sat against his soft underbelly, determined to keep his eyes open in case danger approaches. His mind returned to Epos, the flame bird. Was the phoenix in danger? If Malvel had harmed her, Tom vowed that his revenge would be swift. But his anger didn't keep him awake. The stars began to drift in front of his eyes, and he felt sleep envelop him. He woke with a start, an icy feeling pressed against his chest. Tom looked down and saw something moving across his chest. His hands touched the green and the red scales that thick as saddle leather, which coiled around him. Blaze had been waiting for him to let his guard down. Blaze had been waiting for him to let his guard down. That's what I meant to say. There we go. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed me reading this chapter. Chapter 6 of Blaze, the Ice Dragon. And I hope I will see you whenever. We'll see you next Thursday, probably. If not after lunch, I will probably do it later because I will not miss another video unless I'm sick or on vacation. So I will not miss another video unless it's one of those two things. So I will either do it after lunch or whenever I have time to do it. Alright, hope you like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell if you guys are interested in more Beast Quest videos. Itchy mustache. Alright, bye bye.